All right, we're back. We're back.
We're
Should
here.
be one day a little bit later because of things that happen in life and your father-in-law and
Yeah,
stuff. But
we're
we're
ready.
back and we got some good things to talk about today on today's telecast. For the live
Podcast to
podcast.
YouTube
And-
show.
And to be honest, guys, like our podcast, it's pretty much freestyle. Like it's like we don't discuss what we're gonna. We discuss what we're gonna talk about, the topics and that we're gonna go over. But when we get together, this is our weekly meeting and talk boxing. And
Yeah.
we just are how we used to do it. Remember at Punch Fitness?
Yeah.
We used to spend like a good. I'd be like, Doc, just pull up the fight schedule. Let's talk about the fights coming up. And
Exactly.
Stuff.
So we do a little summary beforehand, but
Yeah,
we know where we want to take you.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
So on the docket today, this being our 20th episode as well too. So please, guys, we need you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Doc and the Boxer, and we're bringing you the best boxing news from around.
We got experience, real ring experience in there too. So it's
And we got
you're gonna hear different
expertise.
angles.
Expertise,
Mm-hmm.
but more from the medical standpoint.
And biomechanics. Yeah.
Yeah. I was at a fight card on Friday, and there was Lee Baxter. He had another fight card at the Danforth Music Hall. Pretty good card. It was always a good event to go to, and
Mhm.
and just to support boxing.
Yeah, you're good.
It's,
You're good.
It has to be done because hats off to anybody that tries to do boxing events like that.
It's risky, man.
Yeah, it is.
So
It's
good.
tough business. So, Doc, our podcast last week, it part of it that was published was cut off the part about Patrick Day
Oh,
and
yeah.
and his his passing from his belt that he had. So we're just gonna revisit that a little bit,
Yep.
guys. And actually, the fight card that they had this weekend, the Erikson Lubin card, they had the following week they had it was this week. They had a 10 count in honor of Patrick Day.
They had one last week too.
And last
Yeah,
week,
yeah. Yeah, which was nice to see.
So just a little bit about that, and I forgot to mention this before. So Patrick Day, it's not like he had to be a boxer. You know, boxers, they usually come from those circumstances that they need to get out of their situation, improve their life, things like that,
Yeah.
using boxing financially. It's not like Patrick Day came from a background like that. He was a standout high school student from Freeport, Long Island. He earned an associate's degree in nutrition at Nassau Community College. He later obtained his bachelor's in health and wellness. His mother was a United Nations translator. Father was a doctor. So it's not like he
Yeah.
came from a background where he needed to become a boxer to get out of his. It just, and it kind of is even more sad. Like,
It does
but
because
for anybody to,
yeah,
no matter where
no
they're
matter
from,
where they came from, it's
what their
sad.
situation was, always a difficult time. So having said that, guys, and then we did this last time, but we did a 10 count too for Patrick Day. So we're just gonna do that 10 count again, if you don't mind. Okay, rest in peace, champ.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit more about that. He was 27 years old and he succumbed to his injuries from his belt that he had. It was his 12th on his bout on the 12th against former Olympian Charles Conwell,
Yeah.
and this was it was a super welterweight contest. Day was taken from the ring on emergency stretcher and underwent emergency brain surgery and was in extreme critical condition upon arriving. Charles Conwell, his opponent, he writes this today. Dear Pastor Day, I never meant for this to happen to you. All I ever wanted to do was to win. If I could take it all back, I would. No one deserves for this to happen to them. I replay the fight over and over in my head, thinking that what if it never happened to you? I prayed for you so many times and shedded so many tears because I couldn't imagine how your families and friends feel. I see you everywhere I go, and all I hear is wonderful things about you. A lot of people always had a lot of great things to say about him. I thought about quitting boxing, but I know it's not what you would want. I know that you were a fighter at heart, so I decided not to quit and win a world title for you. And I'll use you as motivation every day and make sure I leave it all in the ring. With passion, Charles Conwell.
Nice, classy thing to say.
It was very classy. A lot of people had a lot of great things to say about Patrick Day and stuff. And this is going to be a part of boxing that it's always going to be there.
And we asked, we've asked a few real boxing pundits about, what could you change? What do you do to prevent it? Nobody's got an answer, really. I don't know if it's just part of the risk and the nature of the sport.
I think it is. There may be some things that you may be able to change, like educating the cornermen, the referees more.
Right.
Well, but then again, it's very difficult for them as well because you can have a fighter that can beat up, pummeled, whatever, but then comes back and knocks the guy out. You can have a guy that's hurt. He may seem hurt, but he's not even hurt. And then he comes back and he beats a guy. And where do you draw the line? Where's the fun? It's a very difficult thing to prevent. I don't see many preventative measures that they can take.
Even medically, pre fight MRIs. Mm-hmm. If the guy's got something already, that may or may not show up on the MRI because they got to focus in on different parts of the brain.
Yeah.
But sometimes, in the lucky chance, you can spot it. Not lucky, but you can spot these things if they're there. And you can prevent a fight from happening.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that out of thousands of boxers that let's say they were to get pre-screened, will show nothing on the MRI.
Yeah.
It'll be a normal radiograph with normal blood vessel patency, meaning the opening, everything's fine, no signs of clots, disturbances. Yet they go into the fight and they end up with CBI. So it can happen.
Yeah.
Right? So there is no way to prevent it, but...
No, there isn't. People say, like, bigger gloves or rehydration clauses and this and that. And the rehydration clause thing, meaning that, when you have a clause, you can't gain a certain amount of weight after the weigh-in for the day of the fight. But then again, you're going to have guys that, it's like same-day weigh-ins that are losing all this amount of weight before the fight, and then you have to weigh in the day of the fight like you do here in Ontario and other places, and you're not fully hydrated enough. And then, Doc, right, when you're not hydrated, the brain is not hydrated enough in the brain.
Right.
Less cushioning.
Correct.
For the brain to bang on the skull.
Yep. Yeah. Unless just cellular, the cells are not receiving the fluids as well of the brain. So, yeah, that's certainly not. And I know there's been debates over same-day weigh-ins versus previous day, and they both have their advantages, both have their disadvantages.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, I think they're pretty equally weighted on the good and the bad. So I don't think changing that is going to have an impact.
Yeah. Well, for example, the fight that we're gonna talk about today, Erikson Lubin, and they had a clause in the contract, a rehydration clause, and I think he put on like I think he put on he must have been like the rehydration clause is only to gain 6 pounds, and he put on like 13 pounds or something more than that. So then I guess you have an advantage being the bigger guy, but then I don't know where do it's hard to say like, but let the guy get rehydrated because
you got to let him get rehydrated, and it would be impossible to, just to monitor the guy and say, okay, you're allowed to get rehydrated, but water, you get your water weight back, but anything above your water weight that you lost, no. So that would be difficult to monitor.
How can
unless you had
exactly
somebody from the belt organization or the state and they monitor, but it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think it's just going to always be one of the dangers of boxing.
I think so. I think it's always going to be there. That it's the risk like people when they sign up for boxing, you know where you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Right. And you either sign the dotted line or you don't, unfortunately. But it's a major risk. I just hope that I think each belt, whether it's a WBC, WBO, there should be, because they get paid a lot of money for these belts and fights.
The sanctioning fees alone, and
I would hope that if a boxer gets injured in their state or in their fight for their belt, that they could provide some sort of medical health insurance and cover the costs of it at least, or something. Yeah. Something for the families of these guys.
Yeah.
They deserve it.
Yeah, because then the fighter, actually it was Jermell Charlo actually paid for the funeral of Patrick Day, which was really stand up and respectable move on his part. Do you remember Janario Hernandez, and when he passed away, he had cancer. Floyd Mayweather, who Floyd beat him for his first title, paid for his funeral too. So pretty classy.
That happened with also Max Schmeling paid for Joe Louis's funeral as well.
Because they were always with a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, but he was broke at the end, Joe Louis, right? So and they had become friends and close after the war, especially Schmeling and him. So they were friends, and he paid for the funeral. That's what I love about freaking boxing and boxers. There's a lot of respect.
And exactly, and just for example, this fight this weekend with Lubin and Lattimore, the Jamaican guy, they had a lot of bad blood between them. They talked a lot to each other. Mostly the Jamaican guy talked a lot, but at the end of the fight, Lubin goes over to his corner and they hugged it out, and they were cool with each other because look what they just went through. Yeah,
exactly.
You're a brother of mine. If you went through what we just went through, put on a show for the fans, and put our life on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about a few fights.
Okay.
But let's go back a little further and come up to this fight. These fights that we just had. So I know it may not be on there, but last time we didn't talk about, and I'd just like to briefly talk about the Derevyanchenko Triple G fight.
You're right, we didn't
because
talk
that's a very revealing fight, I think.
And Derevyanchenko, he only had 13 fights as a pro, but extensive amateur career. But people don't. They fail to mention, like, oh, he only had 13 fights, and this guy's. If you're from Ukraine, you're from these countries that are powers in boxing, you have a lot of amateur experience.
That's right. And listen, and the one loss he had was to Daniel Jacobs.
Right, and that was it was a close fight. Very close
really
fight.
Close.
Yeah.
I think he edged it out, Jacobs, but if it had been a draw, I would have been okay with that too. What'd you think about the Triple G fight, though?
Okay, well, I was on my honeymoon there in Indonesia, right?
Right.
In Bali, but we were driving to the last place that we were going to and staying, and I saw a poster of GGG versus Derevyanchenko. I'm like, what?
Really?
They're showing the fight here. So I made a point to like,
Jeez.
my wife's like, oh yeah, we're going over here. I'm like, well, let me just see where this is at. And then, so we end up going back there to watch the fight there. I got to watch the fight there. But my opinion on
Yeah.
it, okay, couple things. One is that, oh, yeah, okay, Derevyanchenko was a very tough fight.
Yeah.
You know, like he did with Jacobs. He's a tough fighter. He gave GGG a lot of trouble. And it wasn't a dominant performance that we expected from GGG. But one thing is that is not mentioned, talked about not a lot, because GGG is not that type of fighter to make excuses and whatever. But even Tom Loeffler was even saying as well, was that he was really sick the week up into the bout.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that, who knows if he was or wasn't. The fight was tough. But people are already saying, oh, GGG is done. He's past it now. He's 37 years old.
Yeah.
He's past it. Canelo's gonna whatever, you know. But also you gotta look at this. So if GGG is sick, but also when you're fighting an opponent and you kind of take a little step backwards, as opposed to, you know, you were fighting Canelo a couple times, and now you take a step backwards and you're fighting Derevyanchenko. It's always hard to get yourself up to that level again. It's hard. I know it's easier said than done, but realistically, they're humans like we are.
Yeah.
Right? That it's hard to. So I think those all played a factor. GGG won the fight, and
I agree.
I think it was a close fight, but a good, deserving decision. Let's
Absolutely.
move on now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And Triple G still put his combinations together. Not a big body puncher in this fight, although he was trying.
Oh wait, speaking of body shot, did you see the one shot Derevyanchenko hurt?
Yes,
Golovkin
you see
with-
Golovkin,
bang!
and you see
Yeah,
him punch
and
down.
then backed off.
Right,
and
that's
his-
a sure sign.
He was hurt there.
And Derevyanchenko kept going to his body.
He did. He
And,
did.
you know, I think one of the things that also happens that we do have to talk about age because he's 37.
37.
So one thing that does happen is the body does get affected, and I think you're more vulnerable, and we've seen it with Kovalev, especially when he fought Ward.
Yeah.
When you go to a body of a guy that's a little older in age, the muscles are they're not as developed as they were when he was in his early 30s and late 20s. So you're gonna feel it more.
Yeah.
You're just gonna feel it more.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we saw with Triple G is he showed some vulnerability to his body.
Yeah.
But overall, I think Triple G still has that same, even if he was sick, he still has that same killer instinct and will to win and keep throwing right to the end. So even in the 11th and 12th rounds, he still looked good. He still looked like Triple G. So that's another sign. Although the body shots got to him, you saw him huffing and puffing in the middle rounds, but he always gets a second wind, and I think he did get a second wind again in that fight. So I was very impressed by it, but little signs of his age are showing where they didn't show before.
Yeah, I agree with that. People are, like I said, people are calling for his head, that he's finished, he's this, he showed. Well, okay, the bottom line is that we need to see a Canelo and GGG fight again. It needs to be put to bed. And this whole GGG trilogy and fights with a Canelo, let's put it to bed, because it's still not. It's like a, you have a split from a girlfriend, but you still always think about her and this and that, but it's not closed. The book is not closed yet. It's still open.
Right. She's still calling you and hounding you.
Yeah. I miss
She's
you.
still stalking you. Well, it isn't closed, and I think. Do you think now, based on that performance, whatever you think of the performance, you can see Triple G struggle, where you really didn't see him struggle in previous fights.
Yeah.
Do you think now, though, the Canelo team definitely watched the fight, now they go back and go, okay, I think next year is going to be the time to fight this guy.
And maybe that could be, this could play into GGG's favor.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Could pull a Pacquiao Thurman.
Yeah.
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 Actually,
I watched that Pacquiao Thurman fight again yesterday.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It was on TV. Thurman did some good stuff.
He really did.
I overlooked it the first time I watched it live.
Yeah.
I overlooked some of the good things he did and the good punches he landed and stuff against Pacquiao. But still, I'm firm on my thing on Pacquiao, that a guy at that age to be able to do what he was doing against a hungrier, fighter, it was very impressive.
It's impressive, and I just hope that if he does meet Spence Jr. or Crawford, he's got the same motivation and energy, because they're not going to trash talk him like Thurman did.
No, they're not. No, Thurman did.
Oh, did he ever?
Thurman was like, he got little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. And he's like, Shadow Boss is like, I meant Pacquiao. Little Tyrannosaurus Rex.
The raptor arms. Oh, man. But I don't think he's going to get that much. There's not going to be as many head games before that fight, because now they know, like, both of them, Crawford and Spence, know, okay, he's got a lot left still, so.
And, there's an aura of respect there.
Yeah, definitely. Again, back to the respect stuff.
Yeah, and if a guy's giving me that kind of a payday, I would respect him, like, for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Thurman...
Well, Thurman's got his brand.
Yeah.
And he's trying to protect his brand.
And he's a confident...
Yeah. And he has
undefeated fighter.
Yeah. A ton of knockouts.
Yeah.
All right. So I just wanted to recap that.
Oh, yeah,
we
for
didn't
sure.
talk about
I know we
it.
didn't. It's been some time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally.
So then, we're talking about the Shakur Stevenson fight. So the Reno Sparks Convention Center in Reno, Nevada. Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, 13-0 now and 7 KOs. Wins his first world title, WBO, which is given up by Oscar Valdez, who Valdez 26-0, 20 knockouts, who moved up to 130. This fight was at 126 featherweight. He wins a 12-round unanimous decision, 119-109. That's 11 rounds of the fight.
Yeah.
Against Jowett.
Yeah.
That's not wrong. It's Jowett, not Joe.
Yeah.
Or
Joel.
Jose or Joel.
Jowett.
Jowett Gonzalez, 23-1 and 14 KOs. He was undefeated coming in that fight too.
Yeah. And he's a good right-handed, solid boxer. But Shakur showed a few things out there I thought that were impressive.
Yeah.
Number one, he made it hard for Jowett to make contact with him.
Yeah.
His defense has gone up another notch. This kid is moving beautifully.
Yeah.
He's moving his head. He's using his shoulder to block.
Yeah.
Really skilled. Number two is he's sitting down nicely on his power punches. You can see it. Number three is he's more creative. So he's throwing light shots, he's showing setting up, taps, and then followed by sitting down on his punch and hard shots. So you can see he's developing in each fight, and it's actually quite impressive. This guy Jowett was no pushover. He's an undefeated fighter.
I like how you said that. Like, when you're fighting, you're easy, bam, bam, the hard shots and bam, bam. Not always one tempo.
Right. Like, you can contrast him to Jaime Munguia, who we both like, but Jaime Munguia is one speed only. One gear.
Just for the same, totally understand it,
Right. So that's what Shakur showed, is different gears. Mm-hmm. And I love that. I thought, wow, this kid's getting real good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really high on him.
Yeah.
And I think he's the first member of the 2016 Olympic team to win a world title, but he won a silver medal, right?
Right.
We all remember, and he lost to Ramirez.
Yeah.
Rob Z. Ramirez, Cuban.
Yeah,
In the finals.
and he lost that fight. I remember.
Yeah, he
watching
lost
it.
that fight.
Yeah.
No dispute about that. But
Yeah.
where are they now? Who's
Exactly.
It's not how you start; it's how you finish.
We talked about that. These great Cuban amateurs, we're not seeing them in the pros.
Robsy fought, defected, came over here, fought one fight. He lost his first fight.
Yeah.
So his career is zero. The amateur game and professional game is different. It's like a different sport. It's always said that. It's always referred to it like that. That it is a different sport. The objective now is to hurt your opponent. You can't get hit with one shot like in the amateurs, where your defense doesn't have to be as tight and has to be as focused on your opponent and not get hit with one shot because the fight, one punch can end the fight. Amateur a little bit different.
Yeah.
Bigger gloves, no more headgear, but bigger gloves.
Fewer rounds.
Yeah. Just going for the aggressiveness and not hurting the guy, right?
For the points, yeah.
You don't get points or knockdowns and stuff.
No. So that was a really, and that went 12 rounds.
Yeah, that was his first time going 12 too.
But good, he needs to do that, and now he's reaching the top guys. And even if he went 12 rounds, he won almost every round.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a little bit of bad blood between these guys.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Prior to the fight, I was just like this. When I was reading this and hearing about this, I'm like, this sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
And it's like so what happened was Joet Gonzalez and Shakur was going out with his Joet Gonzalez's daughter. Sister. But estranged sister now. And what I heard was that it became estranged.
Yeah.
After the fact that Shakur was going out with him, with her. Going out with her, and then the father and everyone had disassociated themselves with their daughter.
She's in. I think she's now at Army and training for their boxing. School. Yeah. For Army.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes a little bit of intrigue and bad blood, which you saw them saying they don't like each other and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the best way to solve that is get in the ring.
Yeah. So Shakur was like basically like talking about that. It's like he was just like, man, it's like I'm not shook about that, about how Joet's sister and how Joet was mad about that and made it bad. But it's like, and Shakur was like, I'm not even shook about that. He came into the ring with those feelings and stuff. Like he wanna and you got a guy that's completely calm. What I didn't watch the fight. I know you watch it, but I read a lot about it, and it was what I heard. It was a pure boxing domination lesson and Joet was just too slow, couldn't do anything, and was not in the fight to give. Could not hurt, or even though his record was pretty good.
Oh yeah, and if you watch some of his previous fights, he's solid, but
14 KOs in 23 fights.
Yeah, solid fighter, but solid is not good enough anymore.
Yeah.
When you got guys with the talent like a
Shakur.
He really is good, and you can see him when he's on defense. He's got that Mayweather stare,
he's
man.
Nice to look at it. He's nice to watch.
And his slick, and his eyes never leave his opponent. No matter how many punches his opponent is throwing at him, you see his eyes always.
He's always focused. He's got those dimples showing that.
That's a big smile.
Yeah, but he's focused.
Kid, man.
He's good.
Fighting beautifully.
One thing, he's a little bit cocky. To not too much to my liking, but he's backing it up, so whatever. Yeah. Let him do his thing. That's his thing. And then also look who he has in his corner, and he's got Andre Ward. And then he's got Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
And Crawford really works with them, but these guys are backing him, Shakur. and you don't get better than those are two of the best fighters that we've seen.
So Crawford, I saw an interview with Crawford. He sparred with him before this fight, and he sparred in the past with Stevenson, and he said that what he's seen lately when he spars with Stevenson is some of the things he used to do in the ring against Shakur.
Yeah.
Now Shakur's using some of Terrence's techniques
For sure.
to against Crawford. Crawford said,
tricks.
"Man, I recognize it, but this
Yeah.
dude is basically
I
the
love
same thing.
that.
He's getting better and better and
Yeah.
better, and you can see it. You watch the fight, you'll see how much better he is even from his last fight. And this was a tougher fight, but his movement, everything he's doing is right on track. I think
it's perfect.
Keep building.
His career has got the exact momentum. He's with Top Rank.
Yeah, he's calling out Loma.
Everyone's.
But he's not at that weight yet, anyway, so it's kind of silly. But
leave Loma alone, man. You guys don't want that.
He's got Comey, anyways, coming up, Loma, right?
Yeah, no, but Comey's fighting. Comey's got a Tifimo.
He's on the undercard.
Yes,
I think
on December
7th,
something
like that. But we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So moving along.
So basically, and then just a little bit more about that fight. This is what Shakur says. It's an amazing feeling. I came here to Reno, close to his hometown. I wiped him out. It's an amazing feeling being that I grin. I worked for this my whole life. So it seems like Stevenson now is looking for a fight, and both are really agreeing to this. Josh Warrington and because Josh Warrington said first get a belt, youngin, right? Like the young boy get a belt. He's got a belt, and now let's see if he can make that fight with Josh Warrington. And
Beautiful.
That'd be a great fight because like Warrington, 30-0 with only 7 KOs. But don't let that 7 KOs, don't underestimate it, because this guy's a nonstop, like a Mexican-style pressure fighter.
For 12 rounds. Okay. You're right. And he's also fought tougher opponents. He fought Carl Frampton.
Yeah.
And beat him. And that was a great fight. That's right.
Yeah.
So Warrington's that's a real tough matchup for Stevenson, but in due time, I think we'll see it.
Yeah, maybe sooner than later, because that's the thing. He's like, Stevenson is saying, Josh Warrington, you're a champion. Now I am. Let's do this. I want to unify titles. So.
And the few times when Joet did have some success, they were just moments in different rounds, was when he was putting pressure, a little more, being more aggressive. Throwing punches and combinations and with pressure. Then as soon as he backed off from that, I mean, Stevenson was taking over.
He
couldn't sustain it. So Warrington's going to be a big challenge.
Yeah, that's a big step up.
Yeah, I like that fight.
A real champion.
See how many good British fighters there are? Holy smokes. There's also a Josh Taylor who won on the weekend, too.
Yeah, I got that on the docket, too, about his World Series was it World Series?
No, it's not him. Not Josh Taylor.
No, but it's that tournament, the World Boxing Super Series, not the World Series of Boxing.
Right.
The World Boxing Super Series.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that too. But let's just go. Let's talk about the Erikson Lubin fight. First of all, I've been a really big fan of Erikson Lubin.
Yeah.
And I always have been. Prior to his fight with Charlo, Jamel, was it? One of them.
Charlo,
anyway, yeah, Charlo.
I just say Charlo.
We'll just go with Charlo, because you can't be wrong.
Yeah.
They're two twin brothers.
Yeah.
Anyways, so like Lubin, he was only 22 when he first fought Charlo, and Charlo, there was a first round knockout that Charlo delivered to Lubin, and that derailed Lubin for some time, but Lubin's been back now.
Yeah.
So he's been back. I think this was fourth knockout fight. Oh no, sorry, three knockouts in a row. Three fights in a row, and he's always been a really his knockout streak. Let's not skip to that. But first of all, Erikson Lubin he's only young to be 24 and
Yeah.
to be at it where he's at right now, because
Yeah.
when he was 18 when he was propelled to be a great American Olympian, possibly gold medalist and all that, but at the age of 18 he turned pro.
That's right.
Signing with Mike Tyson. Remember Tyson when
Yep.
he had
His promotion, yeah.
he signed him, and then then Lubin embarked on his pro career, and here he is now. So he's 24 now. Now his record's 22-1, 16 KOs, and this was it. This on Saturday was unanimous decision over across the board. All three 98-91. All three judges scorecards against Nathan Gallimore, who was 21-4, 17 KOs. And it was I thought it was a good fight. It was interesting to see good boxing, and it's always good to watch when you see a fighter that's executing really good boxing.
Yeah.
And Lubin executes really good boxing. When it's a southpaw, he goes nice to the body. Everything is slipping, all that. It's all beautiful to see the art of boxing.
Yeah.
To see with Lubin.
Yeah. And I think that putting him in with Charlo that soon and that early in his career, I don't know if it was the best move, but
yeah, I don't think
happens.
it was. Yeah, I don't think it was.
Let's let him pad his record, keep getting confidence, keep improving. He'll get a shot, especially at that weight class where I think it's more open.
Yeah.
To some of these guys coming up.
54.
Yeah, it's not as bulked up since Canelo left and all these other fighters left.
Yeah.
It's not as bulked up in there, so he'll get a shot.
And he's got Kevin Cunningham as his trainer now too. He's had him for like 2 years now, so he's getting. This is what he's talking about after the fight. I had a tremendous training camp thanks to Kevin Cunningham, who joined the team last June.
Yeah. I
appreciate Gallimore for stepping up to plate, because Gallimore, he did take the fight on, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks notice.
Yeah.
So a last minute guy, one thing about the last minute guys is they get paid, because the promoter now is scrambling for an opponent to fill the card, especially for a main event.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to take this fight? Man, we'll pay you 50% more than what we were going to originally pay. And they take it. Money talks. So anyways, then he's saying, I appreciate Gallimore for stepping up to the plate. He gave me a tough fight and I appreciate it. We gave the fans what they wanted. I measured him. I just timed him and I was able to land power shots. That's what I was talking about, like the nice boxing, and how he was timing him, and everything he was doing was clean. It was tidy. It was nice.
Nice, yeah.
His original opponent was supposed to be Terrell Gasha, who withdrew earlier in the month from injury, whatever. So let's move on. Let's see what Erikson Lubin can do, because he's a tremendous threat in this division.
Absolutely.
That should not be overlooked.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe if one of the Charlo brothers, I can't remember which one, if he may not always stay at 154 either. He may go up to 160. So I don't know if he'll get a rematch, Lubin, with Charlo.
Those Charlo brothers, they're both just they're too busy hiding from the VADA testing. And the VADA testing's coming. They've done it already a couple times.
Yeah, that's brutal, man. If you got nothing to hide,
I'd be
don't hide.
Call me.
Yeah,
I'm right there.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens with Lubin. I like the 154 because it is open now. Things have been vacated there. Since Canelo left, Cotto's not in there anymore. So there's opportunity for some boxers to step up.
I've been tested by the Olympic Committee, and how they do it. This is how they do it. They don't ever leave the message at home. They wait till they get you on the phone.
Yeah.
So they keep calling, and then because my mom's like, we're getting all these phone calls and no one's ever leaving a message, Then one day I pick it up and they're like, "This is the World Anti-Doping Association. We'll be at your house in 30 seconds." I look outside. They're pulling up in my driveway,
calling you from the car.
Yeah. Then then they watch you go in the washroom and everything, taking urinating, and they're watching and all that. It was quite funny.
Yeah.
But it's needed. That's the way it should be done.
Yeah, I agree. Got to do it.
Yeah.
Just for safety purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then the undercard of that fight was actually a good fight, and that was Robert Easter Jr. And I've been pretty big on Easter Jr. for some time until not of lately. I haven't really been a fan of Easter until last night. I mean the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So Easter now 22-1, one draw, one loss, one draw, unanimous decision 97-93, 98-92, 100-90 over Adrian Granados.
Was it Granados?
Granados.
Yeah.
Granados,
yeah.
Yeah.
He fought Danny Garcia, right?
Okay, so 5 of his last 7 fights, one he lost to Danny Garcia by KO. He lost to Javier Fortuna, no decision. Lost to Sean Porter, unanimous decision. He lost to Adrian Broner, split decision.
That was actually a close fight.
People thought he was robbed.
I thought he was.
Broner. I did too.
I thought he threw more punches. Period.
He deserved it.
Yeah.
But he says in this fight that he's like he speaks good and stuff. Yeah. But he thought he won the fight, but he didn't win the fight. Robert Easter looked pretty good to me, man. Like Robert Easter, first of all, 5'11", and
tall,
and he was fighting at 135 for the longest time, man. 135, 5'11", he was like a beanpole. Now he moved out to 140. I think he's stronger.
Yeah.
And he's matured more into this weight class. And it showed in that fight because Granados, he brings it, right? I mean, you've seen him before. Yep. So you got to be ready to fight. And there was times that Easter had to sit there and go with him. But Easter's corner was, like, really good and gave him really good advice. And that's like, man, what are you doing, man? Stay on that stick. Stay on that stick. Use that jab. Keep him away.
Keep him away. Long reach,
boom. Punch, move. Don't fight with him. And he shouldn't. Whenever he fought with him, he made the fight tougher, a lot tougher.
Right. But good for him. I think he'll make that division a little more interesting. We need more fights at 140 too. It's like 147's completely taken over in those lighter weight classes.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see more fighters and good guys at 140.
Yeah.
So good. Let's see more fights there.
Yeah. Okay, then let's move on to So you're alluding to that World Series of Boxing.
Yes, my friend.
So just a little bit about the World Series of Boxing. So the World Series of Boxing, World Boxing Story Super Series. It was started in 2017 in Berlin, Germany. It's basically it's more of a European tournament.
It is
over here. So that's why we're not too big on it over here. But not to say that there aren't good fights, because there are top guys fighting top guys. The founder was Sutherland Promotions, German.
Yeah.
Sutherland,
father and son.
Yeah. Each weight class featured 8 champions competing for the title at the end. Knockout competitions begin with the champion from each weight class taking. The winner of each weight class gets a Muhammad Ali trophy and also $10 million. That's a good payday.
That's an amazing payday.
For these guys, Josh Taylor and Regis Progress.
That was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
Close fight.
Yeah, close fight, right?
But Taylor he's a real deal.
Yeah.
Strong.
He's a Scottish fighter.
Scottish, he's strong. He wears this like tartan colors.
Scotland.
That's British.
Scotland. No, Scotland.
And he wears the
Scottish,
the tartar.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a real fighter, man.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah. Well, that fight was at the O2 Arena in London.
Yeah.
And scores of this fight were 114, 114, 115, 113.
That's a close fight.
And then these are these outrageous scores that you make like, what are you doing? Like 117, 111.
Why is there always one judge?
There-
It seems almost
what-
always.
Then different than what the other.
Yeah.
Aren't you watching the same fight?
It's weird, man. It's weird.
Like-
And that happens a lot.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Like, you always hear about bad decisions, like, oh, this guy got robbed. But there's always, like, it might be a split decision or something. One judge gives it to the other guy who completely got beat up,
Yeah.
was not in the fight. One guy gives it to him. They do this too often. Look, we just talked about Patrick Day, a fighter losing his life in the ring. And then these judges are here giving fights to a guy that didn't even deserve to win, when the other guy, it's mind-boggling and it's disturbing to me. It irritates me, man. Like,
Yeah, I know.
how can it be so far off?
Dude, it's one of the frustrations of judging. I still hold the opinion that there's got to be some sort of judging school or certification, just like there is for referees in football.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Football?
Football, they really train the referees. And
Yeah.
it's these refs, these former refs that were highly acclaimed that run a school, and they gotta get certified.
And they're
They
former.
work their way up.
Are they generally former football players?
Not
right?
they're refs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but aren't they former, like,
No,
used to play or have, no?
not really.
Okay.
Not many of them. No.
But at hockey, you know that ref. Like, he looks like he plays.
Yeah, but most of those guys, those refs have been refs, but they get trained.
Yeah.
Judges need to be trained.
Yeah.
They need to know what to look for. They need to go to gyms. There should be a whole certification course for it.
Yeah.
And the state commission should pay for it, or they pay in to take the course.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they don't, and we're still going to have this discussion 10 years from now.
I know,
Yeah.
man. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Taylor now picks up the WBA crown.
Nice.
Along with winning the World Series of Boxing, Muhammad Ali trophy, and the Ring Magazine trophy. So he's got a bunch of some nice hardware to put in the showcase.
Beautiful.
So another World Series of Boxing, World Boxing Super Series final is
December 7th.
just November 7th.
Is it November 7th?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's November 7th. Nayo Inoue versus Nonito Donaire, and that's going to be a really good fight because actually it's just going to be good to see Inoue because this is going to be a one-sided beating, and I don't think it will last long, but maybe we'll see Inoue get pushed a little bit, but I don't think Donaire. I think Donaire is finished from being at the top level that he once was, pound for pound.
Yeah. But he did make it this far in the tournament.
Right.
Mind you, wasn't one of his fights against Ryan Burnett. What's his name? It'll come to me, but he hurt his back.
Right, was it Barnett? Cause
it was Barnett.
He just retired
I
because
saw
of injuries.
Yeah, so it was him.
Yeah.
He injured his back partway through the fight. It was a good fight too. It was close, but I think Burnett had the advantage. But yeah, he hurt his back and he couldn't continue, and so he did get the win on that fight. So yeah, Nonito Donaire was Fighter of the Year like a few years ago.
Pound for pound.
Until he met Rigondo.
Yeah. Rigondo schooled him.
And then he went up in weight, didn't do well, and then he got back to this weight.
Yeah.
Which is not easy for him to do, but he's not
that
where he
age,
was.
Yeah, he's not where
but
he
we'll
was.
see. We'll see. I'm pretty sure it's December. You could be right, though. It could be November.
I think it's
7th.
November 7th.
Now, the interesting thing about that fight, too, is it's going to be in Japan.
Yeah.
So, what night
Yeah.
is it going to be?
Yeah.
And what time?
Yeah.
So, it's not going to be an easy fight to see live.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
All right.
Okay, let's head to our segment that we haven't done in a
Okay.
while.
Cooner's Corner.
Well, I'll start.
Yep.
I'll start with mine, and just in tune with talking about Japan and this fight with Inoue and Donaire, and just a little bit about me and my experiences in Asia and fighting in Asia. Like a lot of small fight, a lot of small fighters come from there because obviously they're smaller in stature. I fought a few tournaments in one in the Philippines, once in Malaysia, and once in Thailand. And I remember the first tournament in 1998 that I went to. My first international tournament on the senior team was in the Philippines in Bacolod and Bacolod, and it was a pretty big eye opener. My first fight was against Korea, and I beat the Korean. Second fight was against Philippines. Put it this way: Philippines had a guy in each weight class, and Philippines won gold, silver, bronze in all the weight classes.
Yeah.
So when you get to that, when you're going over there, or you're going to like foreign country, you basically have no chance of winning there.
You mean like if it goes to a decision?
Yeah, you have no chance.
Right.
And everything's hostile. It's a hostile environment.
Judges feel pressure.
It's hostile.
Oh man.
Then I fought in the 98 Commonwealth Games the same year in Malaysia, but it wasn't against. I didn't fight any Malaysians. And boxing is not a big sport in Malaysia. Actually, it's field hockey and netball and sports like that.
Right.
Boxing really wasn't. I won a bronze medal there at the
Nice.
Common Games, 19 years old. But I got ripped off, dog, in the semifinals. Like, talking about rip-offs, I fought a guy, Herman Nguzu from Cameroon, but then he went to Montreal and became pro. And he fought Emmanuel Augustus one fight. Anyways, he beat me 16-15, and I was going through the tournament like, wow, look at this guy from Canada. And then I fought him, and I should have won. He got a point from nowhere. Anyways, he won. I ended up getting bronze. And then I went to another tournament in Thailand in 2003, and that was for the World Championship, Senior Championship. My first fight, I fought Finland. Ooh, Finland, very tough country, right? Beat him easily. Then I fought Thailand. Okay, speaking of hostile environments, so in Thailand, and we're in Bangkok, Thailand too, the crowd composed of 75% of the Thai military.
Wow.
It was all in their Thai military garment, uniform and stuff, and I fought this Thai guy, and I was just like, man, I'm not going to have a chance winning this fight. Let's just go to war. So I just went to war with the guy. He ended up winning the fight, whatever. I'm like, it's all good, man. I just came to this hostile environment, and so anyways, then when I went to Indonesia, just on my vacation, I brought my boxing stuff with me because I want to, me, I was looking at that.
Yeah.
Even if it's like the Balbo or something, I'm trying to, dude, come here, man, one sec.
Yeah.
No, but they're not really boxing fans there at all. More MMA, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. So I didn't find no boxing gym. So that's little.
Okay. That's why you're still married, because you didn't find a boxing gym.
Also, I hadn't wanted to, but
no, that's good, man.
Didn't end up finding one.
That's good insight to what it's like to fight away from home, especially over there. They're pretty passionate too.
I've been in some very hostile environments. I'm telling you, hostile, and you're just like, wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool though.
Yeah.
All right, so for the Did You Know segment, just a nice, quickie, short one.
Quickie.
Did you know the first black heavyweight?
Jack Johnson,
early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
When was the next black heavyweight? Or who?
Kid Gavilan.
Joe Louis.
Oh, yeah?
And you know why?
Shit.
So back in the early 1900s, so he was a brash. He went against a lot of what society felt how blacks in the community should be. Jack Johnson was very outspoken. He was brash. He was arrogant.
Yeah, the white girl.
He didn't mind beating up these white guys, and he had hung around with white women.
Yeah.
And I think he married a white girl as well, which was totally unacceptable. So they purposely did not let, because of that, the commissions did not let top black heavyweights, especially the heavyweight being the glamour division, they just did not let them fight. And they wouldn't let them fight. And until Joe Louis, and then that's also why Muhammad Ali was so different, because he was brash. He was like Jack Johnson in a way, right? Yeah. So, and he was the first guy to be so outspoken since Jack Johnson. So I thought it's an interesting little story about why there wasn't any black heavyweight from Jack Johnson to Joe Louis. Right. That's not a conspiracy. They really did not let these guys
just weren't allowed
get
to.
titles.
They just weren't allowed to.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, they didn't, and then they're probably like, we don't need black people to clean out another sport. Like, basketball.
The prejudice was so deep, though, you know.
Yeah,
and because the heavyweight division was such a glamour division, they couldn't have the world's toughest, best fighter, in their opinion, to be black. It's a great accomplishment what Joe Louis did. One of my favorite of all time fighters too. He was
the
so
Brown
good.
Bomber.
Brown
When
Bomber.
you go into Detroit, they have that big statue arm of Joe Louis, the fist like that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love that.
Speaking of Detroit, next week, most likely we're gonna have my one of my amateur coaches. When I used to train in Windsor, but I used to go to Detroit often. Greg Carverson. And remember talking? Did you see something? What I showed you, his record and stuff.
Yeah.
Like 33 and like 2, like, and he fought Hector Camacho, and he was a really, really good fighter. And he's from the school. Well, he trained alongside Floyd Mayweather Sr. and he's gonna be our guest, and we're gonna speak to him and stuff.
I'll watch some of his fights beforehand so I can grill him.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, catch us. This is episode 20. Catch us on Spotify, Outcast, iTunes, Google Podcasts, but also on YouTube, our YouTube channel, Doc in the Boxer. We're slowly growing, but
we're growing,
we just love doing this. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're going to keep doing it.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're doing it for y'all.
Yeah, it's very selfless. All right.
Okay, we're out then. We're out.
Take us
out.
out.
This is how we're going out. This is how we're going out.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Mr. Techie here.
All right. We out, guys. We out.
Ciao.
For now.